Welcome to Ford Hotel Supply as we do our fifth segment. I'm not sure.
Too many to count.
When you're having fun.
That good answer.
Yeah.
Good. I'm ready for Family Feud. I've been saying good answer all week on the show.
Go.
Good answer. Good answer.
So here we're today, and we're going to talk about sanitization and all the different products that you use for sanitization.
I have a quick question, not to cut you off,
Sure.
but how many times in your class do you have somebody that kind of tells you their process for cleaning, for sanitizing, and it's kind of completely wrong? Does that happen quite a bit?
Well, sure. They don't want to take the final step, or they want to rinse the sanitizer off, and we'll talk all about that.
Yeah.
The proper way to sanitize, right? So there is, because there's a wrong way, right way, and dwell time or contact time is so important. So, Mr. Chef Michael Lapage, here we are.
Yeah, so sanitizing, extremely important process in a kitchen or any type of food service establishment, not just for back of the house, but also front of the house, sanitizing your tables and, even sanitizing chairs and things like that. So throughout the entire kitchen, restaurant, business, or, cafeteria, healthcare facility, anything that serves food, sanitizing has to become one of the most important parts of your daily routine and what you're doing.
It's a part of doing business.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a part of doing business, and it should be a part that you pay attention to. Because like we said earlier, if you're not doing it right, one, you're just wasting money and time on chemicals because you're not doing it right. And two, you're putting people's health at risk by not properly sanitizing utensils, tables, things like that. So very important process, and there's tons of different sanitizers and ways to do it. And we're going to just scratch the surface, I guess, the 10,000 foot view of how to sanitize properly.
One of the biggest questions I get during COVID was such a big deal about sanitizing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I brought up, restaurants and places have always done this.
Mhm.
This is nothing new for them. And the only difference is maybe you start doing it more often.
Yeah.
But I've also noticed since COVID, and most of this has calmed down, that we are still keeping the level up on doing our cleaning and sanitizing.
Which is great.
Oh.
That's nothing but good for the industry.
It is.
Really is. If COVID brought a lot of bad things to our industry,
Yeah.
but there are some good things, that we could take from that 2.5, 3 years of unknowing and take some of those good points and really express them now in the future and continue doing them.
Yeah, and right off the bat, guys, for the people that first started watching Food for Thought right here with Linda Peterson, one of our first segments was dishwashing, but we're taking it a step further this time. Because
Absolutely.
dishwashing is just one piece of that very large puzzle, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that being said, we got some buckets in here. No, we aren't pulling out money for you, but we can teach you a lot of really cool stuff. So what do we have right off the bat?
Yeah, so you'll probably notice right away a red and a green bucket. These are pretty synonymous, with sanitizing and soap. So sanitizer will go in the red bucket, soapy water will go in the green bucket. There are different color buckets out there for different things, but you're going to see these everywhere and on tests. If you're taking ServSafe tests or any type of food safety class, red and green will be your buckets of choice.
Whether in the kitchen or behind the bar.
Absolutely.
No
yeah.
spray bottles around food contact surfaces.
Yes, and there's
Right?
many reasons for that. And in some of my kitchens that I took over, people were like, we use sanitizer in a spray bucket and we wrap the towel around it. And they're like, it's easier, you don't have to worry about knocking a bucket over. I'm like, yeah, but that defeats the purpose. If you're spraying on a table near food, you're spraying food with sanitizer. If the towel's just wrapped around it, that towel falls on the floor. Well, now that towel's dirty, and then you're using to sanitize a surface. So there's different practices to do where like a spray bottle might seem easier or more convenient when it's really not. It's actually you're doing twice the work.
This is the way to go.
This is the way. It's as simple as can be. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. A good answer.
Yeah. So what you'll do is you'll put soap and water in one with either a scrubby pad or a towel of some sort. And then in the sanitizer bucket, you're going to want to put whatever type of sanitizer you're using, and we'll go over different types in a little bit. Fill it with water, type of sanitizer, and then a towel designated for sanitizer in the bucket. And that towel stays in that bucket until you change the sanitizer.
Very important.
Right.
I went to an inspection in Jersey County. And what we saw in the kitchen was this.
Yep, over the edge.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
That's a no-no.
Yeah.
They got written up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It is to be inside the bucket when you're not using
Submerged in the bucket, yes.
it. Yes.
And what that does is it creates a sanitized towel, a sanitized atmosphere for the bucket and the towel itself. You're not importing any outside influences into the sanitizer to dilute it or to taint it or to dirty it up faster, as well as you're keeping the towel fully sanitized in the liquid, the sanitizing liquid. So keep the towel in, whether you're using a quat, a bleach, keep everything into the soap container as well. Keep it all in the bucket. This is a controlled atmosphere inside the
Makes
bucket.
perfect
Yes,
sense.
it certainly does.
So take us through, so what are we going to do next? We're talking different sanitizers. What are we going to be doing at this one?
Yeah, so for sanitizing talk, not just the process of, putting in the buckets, but you got your buckets. We know how to keep the sanitizer in there. Now, what kind of sanitizer do you use? Now, there's all different kinds of sanitizers. We have a few examples here on the table. The most popular are going to be your Quat sanitizer. There's a big company, 145 Quat. It'll just be QUAT. You see it on there, and that's a type of sanitizer. We also have powdered sanitizer, which come in pre-portioned packages, or even tablets, which are really cool. And Linda, you said you love these for behind the bar.
Oh, yes.
They come in just little tablets that dissolve in the water, so it's very easy to do. Little room temperature water. I like a little bit warmer to help dissolve it a little bit quicker. Throw them in there, and then it dissolves, and then you have sanitized water.
Because you can get too much sanitizer,
Absolutely.
which can cause a chemical poisoning
Absolutely.
to the people.
Yes.
So you have to have the right amount, not enough. It won't be effective, right? If the water's too hot, it could cause it to dissipate.
Exactly. Yep.
So, and then as use, it gets used up. So on a regular basis, you have to change it out.
Yeah.
And then that's, of course, where we get our litmus paper.
Exactly. So with sanitizer, you put sanitizer in the bucket, you put your towel in. A lot of these quad sanitizers that you find by your 3-compartment sink, they're pre-diluted with water to a specific measurement. Check them periodically. You can't trust them. That's somebody just measuring it.
Yes.
Things get banged around. Things get out of calibration in the kitchen.
Yes.
So make sure you test it. And how you test it is with these great little strips right here. Tons and tons of companies make them. Even chemical companies make them. But it's a strip that comes in a nice little handy roll. You pull, 1 or 2 inches out, rip it off, put that somewhere where you store all your chemicals, so it's in the same place. And then this one's a little like red orange color, I guess, right? And then you just dip it in to the sanitizer for about 15 seconds, I say. You can swirl it around, but if you're mixing that sanitizer up already, it should be already the sanitizer should be put through the water. The cool thing about these are, on the backside, there's a little chart to see. So what you'll see is different colors with different numbers on top. This one has 100, 200, 300, and 400. And what those numbers stand for is a ppm, a parts per million. So it's how much sanitizer is in the parts per million per water, for your solution. The best way to decide this is follow the manufacturer's guidelines on the sanitizer. So for this bucket right here, we're using these tablets, and it'll say between 200 and 400 parts per million.
Which is
proper
the typical
sanitizing.
for the quats.
Yeah, quats is
That's what
typical
that
for
runs.
that. Yeah,
So there's different test strips for different products.
correct. Yes.
Wow.
So then
I know
once you get your test strip out of the water, you'll see it change colors.
We're already doing better than the dishwashing
Yeah.
segment. We got to change color.
And then you just hold it up right next to it and you'll see it. So this one's falling pretty much right in between 300 and 400 parts per million, which according to the manufacturing, the 200 to 400 is right on schedule for it. Now, if it is too strong, you could do a couple things. Pour a little bit out, add a little bit more water to it, dilute it, retest. Always retest.
Okay.
If it's not strong enough, add another tablet, add a little bit more of the sanitizer, however it comes to it, to get it to that right point. So
But you need your test strips.
you need your test strips, yes.
Very important.
Health inspectors will check test strips.
You read my mind. That was my next question. What happens if Mr. Inspector comes knocking on that door and you don't have one? Is that a fine? Is that a...
So you can get Dr. Point.
Okay.
They will have test strips on them to test your sanitizer. What they're looking for is to make sure you're testing it.
Gotcha.
They will still test it because they'll have their own little jar, kind of similar to
Yes,
this,
they will.
of their own test strips, depending on if you're using chlorine or a chemical sanitizer,
yeah.
water, tablet, or something like
Now,
that.
did you use squats on with your chemical supply company?
Well, that's
too?
what I sold a lot.
That's
was
what I
the
was
quats.
wondering.
Yeah.
One capful to a gallon, It's relatively inexpensive. It's easy to use.
Yeah.
The tablets behind the bar was wonderful with the bartenders.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then there's that dreaded bleach.
Yeah. So
Uh-oh.
my least favorite.
Mine too.
My favorite smelling. My least favorite to use.
Yeah, we walk in some place, you smell bleach, you go, oh, this is
Yeah,
bleach.
it reminds me of a hotel. Like on vacation as a
Yeah.
kid, you smell the bleach from the pool. Like, I'm on vacation. I don't have to school the next day. When it comes to sanitizing, though, that's probably at work. You're not using it. So same setup as with our quads or other types of chemical sanitizers. Red bucket, water, dilution. Now for this bleach right here, which is a normal bleach, it's 1 ounce per 2 gallons of water to get a ppm of around 200. So this is just under a gallon of water, so we did just less than an ounce, like 3/4 of an ounce, or about half an ounce.
And a different test kit
Different test kit.
than this.
Same setup though, still has the colors to check. Now it says 10 ppm, 50, 100, and 200. So we're looking for around 200 parts per million for this. Now these don't come in a roll, these come in just individual strips that you can see.
Yeah.
Usually 100 per container, but these are chlorine specific test strips.
Okay.
Chlorine specific.
Yes.
Same process, dip it in there for about 10-15 seconds. You can spin it around if you want. And then we'll take this and we'll check it. So we're looking for 200 parts per million for this.
Oh, I'd say so.
Yep.
You guys, I don't know if you could. This is matching almost identically.
Yep, so we're right there. I'm gonna hold it up whether you
Yeah.
can see it or not, just so we
Wow.
proof.
Some visual elements now.
So we have our 200 parts per million for bleach or
Bleach.
chlorine sanitizer. Now, the reason why I don't like bleach is if you're gonna use this in the front of the house, your dining room's gonna smell like bleach. That can be off-putting when you're ready to eat food. Bleach can also leave films on material and things like that. Also, I feel people will measure this style of sanitizers more so than bleach, because bleach is a household product. They'll just be like, oh, let's do it. Or they'll do the cap full and be like, that's enough, and not worry about testing it out. So your probably most inexpensive solution.
That's why a lot of people use that, because it is inexpensive.
Also, I feel it's the most dangerous as well if you overuse it.
And then I end up with spots all over my clothes.
Exactly.
I don't like that at all, so I don't like bleach.
We picked a bad day to wear black aprons.
Now, one of the biggest mistakes with all of this is that people don't have enough contact time.
Correct. Yes.
Where you put it in, and for quaternaries, it's 30 seconds.
30 seconds of contact time.
Right? Along with the tablets, these are all 30 seconds. This guy is only 7 seconds.
Correct.
So that makes it quicker. You would think, oh, 30 seconds, no big deal. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It is.
People are in a hurry, right?
Yeah, you'll see in the 3 compartments saying they wash, they rinse, and they just kind of do the swoop through and then
They don't let
air
it
dry.
sit there.
You have to let it sit there for the full effect of the sanitizer to take place, whether it's the chlorine or the quat sanitizer, we'll say in this case. So 30 seconds for quat, 7 seconds for bleach. Again, one of the reasons why I don't like bleach, it's much stronger, harsher chemical, hence the less time for it to sit in a contact phase of the washing. So 30 seconds. It is a long time, but when you're in the middle of doing stuff, you just throw them in that third compartment, let them sit, and take them out. And I think the other big thing that people make a mistake on is not letting them air dry. You have to let them air dry after sanitizing. Because think about it this way, you just work so hard to put great food on a plate, wash it properly, sanitize it properly, and then you're gonna take a dirty towel and dry it off.
Yes.
You just ruined everything.
Yep, start over.
Yep, go back to square one, step one. So you have to let them air dry. So one of the things I used to do in my kitchens at 3 compartment sinks, I would leave a peg glass rack that you would put through a dish machine there. Instead of stacking, drying them and let them air dry, just take the dishes out, whatever, put them in a peg so they're vertical. They dry off a little bit more evenly. They're not harboring water or sanitizer. And you get your air drying much, much quicker, maybe a minute, 2 minutes of air drying. It's not that long before you can stack them up. So it's very important to let them contact for 30 seconds or 7 seconds, and no matter which sanitizer you're using, make sure you get plenty of air time to dry it, which again isn't very long, but they do have to air dry.
Now, there's one here, we're talking about chemicals.
Yes.
There's another way to sanitize.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hot water.
Hot water sanitizer.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
So where you see that the most is in dishwashers. They'll use a hot water cycle instead of a chemical cycle, and what they'll actually have is a hot water booster heater, kind of similar to your house. except this one's jacked up to do very hot, very quickly. Sitting underneath, it's like a little box sitting underneath your dish machine. And what that does is during the rinse cycle of your wash cycle in your machine, that last 15, 20, 30 seconds is going to be your hottest water of 100 degrees, 180 degrees or hotter. Has to be over 180 degrees to fully sanitize. So with the time and the temperature being right in your dish machine, you really don't need chemicals to sanitize. And therefore, you also don't need much of a air drying time. You still want it to air dry because you're going to be wet, but you don't.
That hot water makes it dry.
It's going to dry even faster. Yes.
It does.
So alternatives to chemical or chlorine, bleach, sanitizing, hot water sanitizing.
Which one do you prefer, if you don't mind me asking?
Cost savings, hot water.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy chemicals all the time.
Yeah.
I think the issue with hot temperatures, you're relying a lot on that dial right there to be accurate. If that's not accurate, then you're not fully sanitizing. And when the health inspector comes, like we've talked about on our thermometer podcast, they're going to run a thermometer through to make sure you're sanitizing. If it doesn't hit that temperature, you need to either get service done on your machine to make sure that it's going to sanitize or get to the heat or your water heater, or they'll just say you need to get a chemical in there to start sanitizing because you still need to sanitize. So ease of use and cost is probably going to be hot water dishwasher. Consistency though will probably be chemical. So
makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of pick your poison, whichever one you want to use, but just make sure you're using them properly and they're working for you.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Calibration on these, if it's not right, is much easier than calibrating
on that, and a lot less expensive. I'm sure.
Absolutely, yes. Most times you can do it in house. Just twist the knob, open up the cage.
Right.
It's probably a little screw you open up or close up to allow more sanitizer in. With this, you'll need a tech to come out and really help out with it.
And it might actually bring your business to a standstill if you
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you guys are putting out finally. I'm ready to go. No, I don't know. I'm just, me, squirrel. I keep looking at this.
Yeah.
Okay, and this might be one of the coolest things. I don't know what this is. It says blue on it. Now, what is this for?
Yeah, so this is a towel. So we're gonna put it in this water, let it sit for 10, 15 seconds, and that will expand. So what's good about these towels, they're not technically considered single-use towels. You can use them multiple times. You can actually wash them, air dry them out. But what's great about these towels is that you can use them in sanitizer buckets, similar to the tablet. You throw a tablet in, fill it with water, you throw one of these tablet towels in, and then that towel is specifically used for that. When you're done with it, you throw it away and you throw another towel in there.
Wow.
Instead of
this has all the sanitizer in it.
No, this is just a towel. This is just a towel. So that little puck is now this. So
look at that.
Again, you can use this to wash, to dry, to use it as a sanitizer. It is not a single-use towel.
I like it in texture too, so you're actually going to pick up pretty well with that.
Exactly, yeah. So this is a great tool to, keep your linen costs down, because with towels you have to pay for getting linen, and then are they getting sanitized from the linen, which they should be if they're using hot water washing machine or dryer. But this is another tool to use for sanitizing buckets where it's much easier for your staff. They could throw a tablet in, throw a towel in, and be done with it.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Another tool, but pretty strong.
Yeah, I was already saying you aren't ripping that one up, are you?
So we'll put that one back in there. So lots of different tools with sanitizing, and your 3-compartment sink. You have your wash, your rinse, your sanitizer, hot water washing in the 3-compartment sink. Your sanitizer will be at 170 degrees. 171 degrees. So that's very hard to maintain in a 3-compartment sink. Very hard. Not much
this
tap
would
water.
be much easier.
Yeah, not a lot of tap water is coming out that hot. Yeah. So usually tap water is between 120 and 130 degrees at the highest end. So for a 3-compartment sink, you'll usually normally find the squat sanitizer.
That makes a lot more
sanitizer. Yeah.
And in the dishwasher, sometimes, like you said, would be the hot water.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
And now in your classes, I hate to keep jumping in here, but I just keep going back to our time in class. You know what? To me, this was one of the most talked about segments or portions of the class, because folks were talking about their use, wiping down countertops, how they use it, what products they use. And a lot of that went down to temperature, and you're talking about the tablets, the Santa wipes, and it was astronomical. Some of the folks' heads that went, whoa.
Yeah, it's kind of eye-opening. Like, we don't do that. And what's the reason why we don't? Well, you figure if you're at a counter service restaurant where people are at the counter, your customers, you don't know where they've been. They're putting their hands all over.
Yep.
You're putting pastries or something on there. There's a lot of room for issues to happen.
I've always said our restaurants are clean. It's all the dirty people that come in.
Yes,
We're
yeah,
not dirty. Just people bring in their germs.
Yeah, and so you really want to make sure that if you're doing countertop service, things like that, you're sanitizing the countertops, properly washing and properly sanitizing. And I think that's very important as well is you have to properly wash in order to properly sanitize. Sanitizer is not a soap. It's not used to take debris off of a product, off of a table, off of a pot and pan. You still need to use soap and water.
Cleans.
Yes, and then you finish with sanitizer. Once it's a clean surface, you make it officially clean with sanitizer.
Yeah.
We're going to do that. We're going to make CJ wash a table.
That's me. That's why I'm here.
I think just a couple more things I'd like to touch on.
Yeah.
The dirtiest parts of the kitchen.
Oh.
Where you really need to sanitize. So
Yes.
tabletops obviously going to be one of them. Your utensils, your knives, your spoons, things like that. Make sure they're sanitized, whether they're coming out of a dish machine, on the line, or wherever you're using them in the prep area. One of my biggest pet peeves, oven handles.
Yep,
Always dirty. Whether it's an oven like this or a side opening oven, this is going to be this or the touchscreen or the knobs are going to be the dirtiest part of an oven because that's contact. That's where your contact is going to be. And we love to think that our staff is amazing and they're washing their hands every 10 minutes and changing their gloves out. When it gets in the rush, they're not.
No.
It's we can pretend and not clean it, or we can be real and then clean it. So same thing as the process of cleaning anything. Soapy water, scrub it clean, get all the loose debris off, sanitize.
Yeah. Number 1 is scrape the food off.
Absolutely. Yes.
Number 2 is washing.
Yes.
3, rinsing.
Mm-hmm.
4, sanitizing. And 5, air dry.
Yep. Air
That's
dry.
the 5 steps.
And then, so besides this, I know we were talking earlier, your biggest pet peeve with the dirtiest parts of the kitchen, the refrigerator handles.
Refrigerator, freezer handles,
Yes.
and which is also, we talk about it with allergens. That's also a good place where we have cross contact.
Yes, particles of different foods can be still be there. So, you just never know. Somebody's handling a box of raw chicken for delivery. They open up the walk-in door, they put the box in there.
There you go.
They don't clean that walk-in handle. Now that handle is compromised with potentially raw chicken juice on.
Wow.
So there's a lot of different areas where people can get sick, not just employees, but staff, but customers as well. Everyone can, really get harmed from it. So be very cautious of your dirtiest areas in the kitchen, for sure.
Now, me thinking out loud here. What about, where people read the order numbers at, and their hands are all over those too in the back of the kitchen. Does that have to be wiped down?
Yeah, like your ticket machines and stuff. Yeah, your printers.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everything in the kitchen, if it's electric, like a printing machine or something, be a little bit more cautious when washing it.
Oh, yeah, please do.
You're not going to dump that in a sink. Just a nice wipe down will be perfectly fine with it. But yes, absolutely. Anywhere there's point of contact with hands or utensils or things like that, you're really going to need to sanitize thoroughly. Not with a printing machine, not necessarily every 10, 15 minutes like you would a table or but at the end of the night, you want to wipe it down for sure, so that you're starting fresh and clean the next day.
I'll be darned.
So show us your ability to wash this table.
What have you learned? Out of all this, what's your first step?
My first step is right here.
No. What's on the table?
All this junk.
You got to get all rid of all the
That's
junk.
right. Okay, hold on. I'm picking up what they're putting down.
You're on the same page here.
The look I got from both of their eyes was very deafening. You guys can't see it. We got to get 2 angles. So we got all this.
Like we got him.
Yeah, you did. So now, do we leave the bucket on the table?
No, the bucket you can leave off the table.
Okay.
Because that's going to, if the bucket's there, it means you're not washing right
That's
there.
what I was kind of getting at there. So step 1.
Soap and water.
You already got step 1 done.
Yeah, step 1's done, correct.
Step 2, soap and water.
Soap and water. And this will be a dry towel to wipe the soap off and stuff like that.
So bring out your soap, obviously, because you don't want all that built up on there.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Yep.
All right.
Well, you got one of the new towels.
I got that.
Yep.
I had to. That thing looked too damn cool not to. So, hold it down. Look at that elbow action, Linda. You see that?
So if you're getting a little dry, dip it back into the soapy water.
I'm not as good as I thought I was.
We've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, that's true. See, thank you for making me feel better, Chef Lapage. I needed that for my ego today. Here we go.
When I used to teach at college, I used to tell my students all the time, you're seeing me do this for the 10,000th time. You're doing it for the first time. So it'll take some time to get good at it.
Getting dried off here. We're almost done. I'm getting there, guys.
Yeah.
I'm helping you at home, right?
Yeah.
Because you know, people like me have never washed a countertop before, and they're using their own kitchens, but they aren't cleaning them properly.
Correct.
Too.
Yeah.
So make sure.
This is just not at
Exactly.
the restaurant.
Yeah.
This is at home.
Exactly.
Also,
Oh my
you want
goodness.
to keep your family safe.
Yeah.
Man.
Corner to corner, edge to edge.
Uh-oh.
Well, the good news is we have an extra, and we're gonna extra towel right there to drop in.
So what you do with that is
You throw it away.
you'll see this at a restaurant, folks.
Perfect.
Oh, you went to this.
I had to.
Yeah.
I had to. All right, enough fun and games. It's time for me to get real here and clean. My mom is going, where have you guys been?
Yeah.
All right, so we got this all wiped down, corner to
There you go. Good.
corner to corner. What do you think, Linda?
I'm impressed. What? Wait.
Uh-oh.
Over here. Okay.
All right, now you'll just
Okay.
wipe the rest.
We normally would rinse and
Rinse
get
it,
force
okay.
water, but we are.
Even like I worked in restaurants where we used to use squeegees to squeegee it off
Oh,
onto
I
the
like
floor,
squeegees.
and then we mop and stuff afterwards.
I've
so-
never even thought of that.
Yeah, especially for things like hoods where you're not wanting to like spray up there. You scrub it and then you squeegee it down, get all the grease off of it.
Hey,
I love to learn something.
This
Yeah.
is so. By the way, did you see I drew a crowd with my dishwasher? My dishwasher. So we got to get all this great stuff off because we're cleaning here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
lots come off that table.
I can't even. But I would have never thought of it just looking at it that there was even anything on this.
Yep.
Does this happen a lot when you guys look at something and you're like, it doesn't look too bad, and then you.
Yes. The best thing, or the most disheartening thing I guess I've seen is when you walk into a kitchen first thing in the morning and you're like, oh, it was clean last night. It's going to be automatically clean tonight. Like things aren't in the air and grease is still in the air that falls on the table. So when you first walk into a restaurant or any food service facility, clean all your surfaces.
I never
please.
even thought about it being in the air and coming
Yeah.
down after.
Yep.
Wow.
Dust. I mean, you have air vents everywhere. There's going to be dust in those air vents. So
Yep.
we used to even if we preset glasses on the table, we would flip them upside down so debris didn't go inside the glass. But normally we didn't even preset glasses, so we didn't have to rewash them.
So I washed it. Now it's time to sanitize.
Now it's time to sanitize. So this is going to be the quat sanitizer. So you're going to wring that out. You don't want to put too much on there. Don't make it completely bone dry, but you want some liquid in there as well. And now you're going to wipe the entire table down.
I worked at Hit and Run, Linda, and this is what I had to do. Just with the bleach, I never had any of the step 2 or 3.
I'm just.
Yeah.
And I've noticed you got to kind of wipe down pretty good to have a nice firm grip or, kind of pressure on there to make sure you're clean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put some elbow grease in there. Anyone got WD-40 at home?
Right? You didn't warm up the elbow before this podcast.
Well, I just got Tommy John last month.
Oh, no. We're working it out real good now.
What do you guys think right here? I think that's
Good
pretty
job. Good job.
And then what's the last step?
Oh, wait a minute. Air dry.
Air dry.
Oh, high five! Oh yeah, give me a high five. I'm ready to pass. This is so great, but honestly, even for like you just said, at home, this is stuff we can take care of because we have just had family in for Easter, Memorial Day, all these picnics.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's where my mind's going. You guys can do this at home, even if you aren't in the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
In fact, you should.
Yeah, and I mean, the red is industry standard.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, I didn't finish.
Yep, back in the bucket, right? And then at home, just get a bucket of tablets or a little jar of tablets.
Yeah.
Put it in a little, bucket you can get from any dollar store, like a Sandcastle bucket or something. Just make sure you have it underneath your sink so that when you are doing stuff at home, you can properly sanitize for your guests when they come.
Wow. Well, Chef Michael Lapage, Linda, what's your biggest takeaways with sanitization, this whole process? What are the steps? What are crucial? And what we learned today? She looked at me. I knew she was going to. I said it today. I'm like, I'm going to ask Linda what we learned and see what she said.
I was hoping you could tell us because you're the one
Well,
that did the
to
demonstration.
me, I've learned so much because I've skipped 3 steps my entire life. I would have never thought because even, like I was telling you guys with my little, hit and run story, I just picked up the bleach towel, threw it, wiped it, and then left it.
Yeah, see you later.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, so, this is really important. The big takeaways are we can do this at our home.
Yes.
And it's to keep all of us safe, not just, patrons, our co-workers, our, restaurant managers, all of that. And goodness, there's so much to learn.
Yeah, and it's for me, it's about the process.
Yeah.
Don't fight the process. If you train the process to your employees properly, it's going to be second nature to them. It's not additional work. It's not a lot of hard work. But doing it right
Just
means all the difference.
second nature.
Yeah, doing it right minimizes the risk tremendously. Doing it wrong increases it tremendously. So for an extra 10, 30 seconds to do it the right way, to make sure there's no risk, to prevent as much risk as possible, is to me worth it.
My thought is the contact time is not enough. Number one mistake.
Yeah.
You know, because if you don't put it in the solution long enough, it won't do its job.
So rushing is not our friend in this
No.
process at all.
And if you think about it, 30 seconds sounds like a long time, especially in the kitchen. It sounds like a long time, but you're putting dishes or whatever utensils into a 3-compartment sink for 30 seconds. It'll take you 30 seconds to wash everything else.
Yeah.
By the time that's rinsing off in the middle sink,
Yeah.
that's ready to go out. So if you build it part of your process, it's not additional time. You're just using your time a little bit more efficiently to do it properly.
Absolutely. Well, Chef Michael Lapage, thank you for
My
helping
pleasure,
us out
as
again.
always.
What's the best way to get a hold of you if our restaurant owners out there want to look at some really nice equipment?
Absolutely. So Instagram's the best way. It's Chef Michael _CMA or at CMA Food Service. That's my company and my personal company Instagram handle. You'll see a bunch of fun stuff on there.
And Linda, what do you have coming up down the pipeline for classes? How do we sign up for that newsletter?
Oh boy. I'm going to be at Johnson's Corner May 22nd.
My
on
favorite
Monday.
place.
Yeah. I am going to Rock Falls this coming Monday, but it's for a private class with Dee Dee Holmes.
Ooh.
So I'll be going up and doing a private instruction with them. And then I'm taking that class the 1st of May that we've been talking about.
Ooh, that's actually exciting. That's a tease for what's to come on that.
Yes, yes. And then the 1st of June, I'm at Roma's Pizza, Bethalto.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
also a good place.
Yeah.
At Roma's Pizza, Effingham Holiday Inn. There's another one. There's 2 more in there.
Uh-oh.
So I've got things going on. So if you want to book a class with me, call me up and let's do it.
And sign up for Linda's newsletter at
Yes.
safefoodspecialist.com. Linda, give me that second time. What was that website again?
Safefoodspecialist.com.
We have a good time keeping our food safe, and we enjoy you
Thank
guys hanging out with us on the first Friday of many months, or first Friday of every month.
Yes.
Well, it's getting late for many months to come. So on that note, guys, have a great
Thank
rest
you.
of your Friday, but most importantly, just try your best to stay out of jail.